So any closed path followed by magnetic lines of forces is called a magnetic circuit. So we can take any closed path. Across that closed path, magnetic line of forces will flow, and that particular circuit we can call it as a magnetic circuit. And we have seen the magnet properties. If you place similar pole right here, okay, they will repel with each other. Okay, if you place opposite pole right here, they will attract with each other. Okay, so we have discussed this property. And second thing we have discussed that the magnetic line of forces will flow from north pole to the south pole. Okay, so this is the another property of any magnetic material. Okay, so there are commonly Faraday's law. What is Faraday's law? We are using these two magnetism right here. Okay, when a material is placed within the magnetic field, the magnetic forces of a material, electron will be affected. Clear, everyone? So when you place these materials and magnetic forces will be appeared over there, so electron will affect. This effect is called as Faraday's law of magnetic induction. I am explaining it again. When a material is placed within a magnetic field, so these two type of materials, when these materials are placed in a magnetic field, so magnetic line of forces will be appeared. So those magnetic line of forces will affect the electrons. Okay, those magnetic line of forces will affect the electrons, and this process is called a Faraday law. The material which have weak negative susceptibility to the magnetic field, okay, it has weak or we can say negative susceptibility. Okay, and what are the materials right here? Copper, silver, gold. These are the material which we can consider inside this diamagnetic material, paramagnetic material. So the material which has a small or positive susceptibility, okay, of a magnetic field is called paramagnetic material. Okay, so para, okay, and this magnetism is titanium. We can use titanium, you can also use. Okay, aluminum, lithium, magnesium. Okay, so these are the some type of materials which we can use in this paramagnetic material. Okay, so this ferromagnetic material have a large or positive susceptibility. Okay, for external magnetic field. These materials, ferromagnetic materials, okay, has the strong attraction, okay, to magnetic fields, okay, and are able to retain their magnetic properties after the external field has been removed. Iron, nickel, cobalt, all these are the ferromagnetic material. The phenomena by which magnetism is produced, or what we can say effect of electronic current, is also called as a electromagnetism. Okay, so you can write here the phenomena by which by which magnetism is produced by the effect of by the effect of electronic current. Okay, the phenomena by which magnetism is produced by the effect of electronic current is called electromagnetism. That this is your north pole, this is your south pole. So what is magnetic field? Magnetic field, region around magnet where magnetic forces is experienced, area covered by the magnetic field line. Okay, good. So your answer is right. You can see right here, this is your north pole, this is your south pole. When you these fields will produce from north pole to the south pole, so these fields are called as a magnetic field, or we can say the region around the magnet. Okay, the region around a magnet where its pole exhibit the force of attraction or repulsion is called as a magnetic field. Okay, the region around the magnet where its pole exhibits a force of attraction or repulsion is called magnetic field. Clear? So you can give the definition right here. The amount of magnetic lines, the amount of magnetic lines of forces set up in magnetic circuit is called magnetic flux. We can represent this magnetic flux density by V. And how you can represent this magnetic flux density? V is equal to how much flux is flowing in per unit area, and you can represent it by Webers per meter square. Okay, so from this formula you can derive the statement magnetic flux density is equal to phi divided by A. That is, how much flux is flowing per unit area is called the magnetic flux density. Flux per unit area, Weber per meter square. It is 1 into 10 raised to power 4 Webers per centimeter square. Okay, so we can convert meter square to centimeter square response. What is permeability? You can represent permeability by mu. So what is mu? Mu is equal to 4 pi into 10. Okay, in case of air or vacuum. So what is this permeability? The ability of a material to conduct magnetic lines of forces. Okay, the ability of the material to conduct magnetic line of forces through it. The ability of a material to conduct magnetic lines of forces through it, okay, is called permeability. What is the symbol for relative permeability? How you can represent it? Permeability is mu. So as the names suggest, relative permeability. So R you can add to this subscript. Okay, so mu R is your relative permeability. So how you can represent this relative permeability? Relative permeability, mu R is equal to mu upon mu naught. So what is mu and what is mu naught? Mu is your permeability and mu naught is your permeability at air or vacuum. Okay, so this mu is your permeability and mu naught is permeability in air or vacuum. Okay, so from this particular formula you can derive the definition of relative permeability. So how you can represent it? This relative permeability is the ratio of permeability of a material. So this permeability of a material to the permeability of a air or vacuum is called relative permeability. So what is magnetic field intensity? H is equal to mmf divided by length of magnetic path. Okay, length of magnetic path. And how you can represent it? mmf. What is mmf? Magnetomotive force. Okay, the force acting on a unit north pole. Okay, the force acting on a unit north pole, that is 1 Weber, when placed at a point in a magnetic field. Okay, so this is a force, magnetomotive force you are applying at unit north pole. Okay, that is 1 Weber. So magnetomotive force you are applying for the unit north pole when you place this inside a magnetic field. So it will depend upon that area also. So that's why we can represent this magnetomotive force divided by the length of magnetic path. Force acting on unit north pole, that is 1 Weber, when placed at a point in a magnetic field. Clear? What is magnetomotive force? How you can represent it? As we have seen in the previous slide, mmf is equal to N into I. So how you can represent it? N is the number of turns and I is your current. Okay, so quickly, how you can derive the definition from this formula? mmf is equal to N into I, ampere turns. So you can represent this in ampere turns. So next is reluctance. What is reluctance? As we have seen, resistance. So similarly here reluctance is there. So how you can represent reluctance? Reluctance is represented by S. Okay, so what is the formula for reluctance? S is equal to L divided by A mu naught into mu R. Okay, where L is the length, L is a length, L is the length, and A is a cross sectional area. Mu naught. What is mu naught? Is a permeability. Okay, or mu naught or mu, we can equate this to mu also. Okay, so we can use this permeability. Okay, so what is the definition for this? The opposition offered to the magnetic flux by a magnetic circuit is called reluctance. So similar as resistance, we are using magnetic circuit right here, so its name is reluctance. The opposition offered to a magnetic flux by the magnetic circuit is called reluctance. See here the let's see here the formula for this permeance. So permeance is the opposite, or we can say it is reciprocal of reluctance. And in the previous case, you have find out the formula for the reluctance. As you can see, this is the formula for the reluctance. And if you consider this reluctance is opposite to the permeance, so you can represent it by 1 divided by L divided by A into mu naught into mu R. Okay, and if you take this value to the numerator, you can represent this value A into mu naught into mu R divided by L. Okay, or you can give the notation to the Henry. Okay, or you can also represent it to the Webers per atomic area. Okay, clear everyone? Reluctivity. So what is reluctivity? Reluctivity is analogous to resistivity when we discuss about electrical circuits, and when we discuss about the magnetic circuit, it is a specific reluctance. So that is reluctivity. Clear? Now, based on these definition, we have to draw the BH curve. Okay. So what is BH curve? BH curve is nothing but the graph between your magnetic field and magnetic forces, or this we can say magnetic this flux density that is represented by B, and magnetic forces that is represented by H. Okay, this is your zero position. And when you want to start some uh, when you want to apply some magnetic forces, so its flux density is increasing. Okay, its flux density is increasing. Let's suppose that this is your A point. Okay, let's suppose that this is A point. From here onward, this flux density is increasing rapidly. Okay, rapidly. And when it will reach up to some point, okay, let's suppose that this point is B, the flux density will not change. If you increase the magnetic line of forces or magnetic force, its flux density is not changing, and it saturate at this particular B point, or we can call it as a saturation. Okay, if you further increase the magnetic forces, the flux density is not going to change. We have three material. First material is cast iron, second is cast steel, and third is your steel sheet. Okay, to increase the flux density for the cast iron, it will it's if you increase the magnetic forces at cast iron, its flux density will reach up till 0.5 Webers per meter square. That is cast steel. It has some less impurity as the iron, so its flux density is somewhat better than that of the previous case, and it will reach up to 1.2 Webers per meter square. Clear everyone? It will reach up till 1.2 Webers per meter square. And lastly, we will take the third material. So it is a pure steel sheet. Okay, it is a pure steel sheet. So steel sheet, so it will give you 1.5 Weber per meter square flux density. Okay, so in the non-magnetic material, if you increase the magnetic line of forces, so flux density is also increasing. So its response is somewhat linear.